Hey guys, Justin with the Away in the Wilderness channel. What you are looking at right here is the Skynest Hammock Tent. And this weekend I've been down at the lake with my family for the last 4 or 5 days or so. And we've been doing a lot of different things, doing some fishing, staying at my mother's cabin actually. Behind me is my aunt's place, which I grew up coming down to this place ever since I was a little kid. So I pulled this hammock tent out, which was sent to me by TravelBird a while back, and I want to send TravelBird an apology. I haven't had the time to pull it out and do much with it, but now being that it's the summer months, I'm looking forward to getting this thing out a lot more, especially after I have stayed in it and kind of tinkering around with it and seeing all the different features of it. And this thing has a lot of features. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera around, show you some of those features, and talk a little bit about this hammock tent. Full disclosure, I'm not a huge hammock camper. I have camped in hammocks, you know, here and there, but in general, I'm kind of a ground sleeper. And this is going to be perfect for me because not only is it a hammock, but it can also be converted into a tent with the full bug net, and you could even detach the bug net and just use it as a tarp. I'm a big tarp camper as well, so this is an option that will kind of fit all of those different needs, no matter if you're a tarp camper, a hammock camper, or a tent camper. This can kind of cover all those. So this might be a buy once sort of option for you out there if you're looking to utilize your gear in many different ways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the hammock situated a little bit, and I'm going to walk around and I'll give you kind of a close-up look at a lot of the different features that this hammock tent has to offer. Alright guys, so here's a quick look at what I have going on right now with this TravelBird Skynest hammock tent. So on the inside, this does have a full bug net all the way around. Goes all the way around the entire hammock. And I've actually detached that, which you can see. Here's where it attaches. The attachment's right here and right here. So I have it completely detached right now from the hammock itself, but that goes all the way around. And I actually did sleep with it the other night because there are plenty of bugs out here in my area. So I really liked having that. Down here, your standard. You could just put the hammock in here, kind of standard on a lot of hammocks, but a nice, well-made little pouch here with a drawstring. That is not how you store the complete system, but this is really nice to have for whatever you wanted to store in here overnight while you're camping. So you have that there, but then it also comes with a storage up here up top, and on that storage you get 3 mesh compartments on the outside here. If you flip it over, there's also 3 mesh compartments on this side. And what's really neat about it is it also opens up right there. Let me see if I can get it to where you can see all the way through. But it opens up right there, and you could easily store a water bottle. Even an Nalgene would fit in there. So it's a great option to have, and it comes on this built-in ridge line along with 2 toggles. And the other night I just put my light on here when I was slept in it on one of these. I left the one open, but you could use these toggles for all types of different things. And this is a really great option because most tarps and tarp systems do not come with this, at least from what I've seen in my experience. You have to buy this sort of stuff separate. So it's a really cool option that they include this. The way I have it set up right now is, like I said, I have the bug net completely off, and I have this open, and this is really for kind of just maximum ventilation, so I can get a draft through here. But I have 2 trekking poles going right down to the ground, and attaching right here to these attachment points. Let me focus this. So you have on this webbing here, you have 4 different compartments that you can run that through. And so I just opened one of those, ran it out to the guy line, and I really like how these guy lines have bungee at the end. And these are all come with the system. So, and it comes with some nice aluminum tent stakes. I really like these tent stakes. So I have 2 of those kind of holding it open. This end here I have just coming right down to the ground on this built-in cord right there. It's kind of some stretch cord, so I have that one, but this side actually has a snap here, and it actually attaches to this side over here, which I actually have kind of rigged up so it's not hanging down with this extra tent stake. But this side would come down this way, snap to this one, and it would completely enclose it. You would stake it out to the ground while they're both snapped, and you'd have both sides completely enclosed because it is on the other side as well. I just happen to have it put up right now, and what I've done is I actually snapped this one to this one, and then I ran this cord over here and just kind of ran it through this buckle here, and put kind of a improvised marlin spike in there to hold it so it doesn't come out, so it's all kind of held together nice and secure. But on this side, the built-in guy lines I just have staked out right to the ground, but you could just as easy cut 2 sticks and have this side up as well, kind of like I had the front, so it would be completely opened up on both ends, and you'd have, you know, just a big tarp over the top of you. You could attach that bug net if you wanted to, or whatever you want to do, or you could leave it like I want right now to have as much airflow as possible. And yeah, just a lot of different options that you can do with this hammock tent setup. And it comes with kind of your standard daisy chain style hammock straps. And what you do here, because this is actually attached and it's all in one, it's such an easy setup. This carabiner here actually comes hanging out of it already, so what you do is attach it to your hammock strap, and then the top one is a smaller carabiner, and all you have to do with that is attach it to one that's maybe 1 or 2 straps up. Let me try and focus that. There we go. So you would just attach that to one a little bit above where your hammock is hanging, and it pulls that taut. So it's a really great system. And like I said, your ridge line just kind of is built in as well, so it's an all-in-one easy setup with so many different options. Let me give you just a quick look at some of the features here. This is kind of the bag that it comes in. So again, this is the TravelBird Skynest 4-in-1 Ultralight Hammock Tent, and it looks like the size is 335 by 140 centimeters, 300 tarp size, 310 by 215 centimeters, weight 1,500 grams, and load bearing 200 kilos or 440 pounds. And on the screen I will convert this so us here in America don't really go by centimeters, so I will convert that and I'll put that on the screen so you can get an idea of the hammock size, the tarp size, and the weight and all of that. Some of the features that it offers, and here is some of the information regarding the makeup and the material. So it's a 20D waterproof nylon with a PU of 3000 silicone coating. And looks like the hammock fabric is 20D ripstop nylon, and I'm guessing that that hammock fabric 2 is the underside, which I failed to mention. So, but it's a 20D waterproof nylon with the PU of 2000, and the mosquito net is a 20D polyester. I believe that hammock fabric number 2 is referring to this, because one of the features that I failed to mention was there's actually a sleeve here for, hope you can see that. So here's the hammock, and here's the underside that is attached to it, and you could tell that it is a different material. And now that I'm feeling it on the inside, you can feel kind of that waterproof coating on it. But this is for your sleeping pad, so you can shove a sleeping pad in here. There you go, that's a better shot. Your sleeping pad could go right down in here, and you can also attach your hammock underquilt if you wanted to. So again, just more options for you. If the weather was cold and you're wanting to bring this out, this kind of covers all of your bases. This really is a really cool hammock setup. The one thing about the sack that I wasn't too sure of, maybe wasn't too fond of, is that it does come with this little pouch on the outside here that just has a velcro attachment to it, and this is for the tent stakes that it comes with. It does come with 6 tent stakes. Let me try and focus this. There you go. So it comes with 6 tent stakes that all come in here. But those aluminum tent stakes, I don't know if they get kind of ate up on the bottom. They have, I think over time this would have a tendency to tear with those tent stakes in there, but we shall see. So, and it is, again, I understand why they did that. It's meant to be, you take this out and you have everything that you would need to camp pretty much in any style that you wanted to. So really cool setup. There's a quick look at it, and I think what I'm going to do is I am going to convert this thing into the tarp setup, or I'm sorry, the tent configuration. The tarp you could set up in a bunch of different configurations using the hammock straps and your because right now, I mean, I could literally just detach this if I wanted to, and it would just be the tarp with the bug net attached to it. So a tarp is a tarp. You could set it up in a bunch of different ways. The cool thing about this is there's a lot of different tie outs. There are no like center tie outs or anything like that, but there would be a bunch of different options. You could set it up in all kinds of different ways. If you sat and messed with it, I'm sure you could come up with some really cool things, which I probably will do at some point. But with this tent configuration, you do want the rain fly, or I'm sorry, not the rain fly. You do want the mosquito net reattached, so it keeps it all together. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that now, and I'll show you how the company recommends that you set up the tent. So give me just a second. I'm going to get that reattached, and I'll show you how that works. And you will need one of these trekking poles. So I have the bug net completely attached again, and I will say once you completely detach it, it's not the easiest thing in the world to get back on. Guess it's not the hardest thing in the world either, but it has this kind of overlapping system here, and so you kind of gotta, well, it kind of took me a minute to get it completely back on, but it's all back on now. As you can see, both sides are attached. So what I'm going to do now is take this down, and I'll give you a look at how to set it up in the tent configuration. All right guys, so while I was messing with this, I realized that you don't even really have to use the trekking poles or anything. You could just keep this one end attached, kind of like a diamond or a plow point configuration for your tarp, and run that center line all the way down to the ground, and you're all set up. Then all you have to do is stake out these other sides. These are going to be left open, so all you have to do with these is just kind of tuck them under, and you're all set up. Staked out 1, 2, 3, I actually have that one running out a little bit further. There's 4, 5, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one am I missing? Might be down 1 tent stake, or no, actually, yeah. I have this end, the enclosure, staked out, actually closed up and staked down to the ground over here. So let me give you a quick look at this. So like I said, it's just kind of like a diamond or a plow point configuration. I've snapped this side here, snapped this side, and then I just kind of have that buckled, because these actually buckle together to close it as well. So I have that running straight down to the ground with that tent stake there. I have this one kind of open, running out to the ground over here. And then I've just staked everything else to the ground. So it's a little bright. Let's see. I would just wind this up, kind of put it under the tent stake so it's a little bit more secure. And you could do the same thing over here, because this one's to the ground as well. I'll just wind that up. And shove that underneath there. So everything's all nice and tidy. I think what I might do here is run this one just like I did the other one. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this tent stake out. And I will say, some of these aluminum tent stakes are just kind of junk. However, these seem to be pretty decent. They're not bending very easily, so these ones are actually doing a pretty good job. A lot of them, like I said, are just junk, and I end up just throwing them away and replacing them, but these have not done bad so far. What would be really cool about this is you could actually put your sleeping pad in that little pocket, and so you'd be sleeping right on your sleeping pad. And I'm going to get in there and get a look at the kind of room that you have in there. This would be your entry point here, so you could actually even open this up a little wider if you wanted to, so you have plenty of access. So what you do is you come in, as you can see, here's the guy line, or I'm sorry, the ridge line. That is when it's set up in the tarp, you just kind of push that to the side. And what you would do, you could reach up behind you and button these together, which would be a lot easier if I didn't only have one hand. You could flip this over, and now we're completely enclosed. Here we are. I have plenty of room, as you can see down here. I'm completely stretched out. I have plenty of room down here. You have a bug net on both sides. Plenty of room up here. This is my arm completely stretched, and let me see, hopefully I can get a good shot. All right, let's see. Here I am laid down. So this is about as good a shot as I'm going to get right now, guys. And I will say, in this heat, this would not be the option that I would take. I would not be sleeping here. It's just way too hot in my area right now. But this kind of gives you an idea of what you would be looking at. This is where the tarp goes up at the top of kind of the plow point. And so you are completely enclosed though, covered from the elements. I would not be worried at all about water getting in here or anything like that. The seams are completely sealed, and they look like they've done a pretty good job. Let me see if I can get a shot of that. It's probably gonna be really difficult. But they are completely seam sealed all the way around, and I would not anticipate. I have not slept with this in the rain though, so I will say that, but they do look like they've done a pretty good job at seam sealing everything. But it is hot in here, so I'm going to get out. But pretty spacious, pretty roomy in here. You could have your sleeping pad, like I said, and it's just a really cool option. A lot of versatility with this kit. All right, guys, so that was a quick look at the TravelBird Skynest Ultralight Hammock Tent, and it seems like a really great system. Look forward to getting it out a lot more in the remainder of the summer and into the fall months. So look for this on the channel being utilized out in the field in all these different configurations. And yeah, I've been enjoying it this week as I've had it out here set up. It's been nice to get it out and kind of put it through its paces, see what it can do. And this thing is just super versatile. So if you are somebody who's in the market for a piece of gear that covers a lot of different bases, has a lot of different versatility, this may be an option for you. I will leave a link in the description box below if you'd like to go check it out and maybe get one for yourself. But that being said, I can't really think of anything else, so I appreciate you guys joining me. God bless. You guys have a great day.